Will Aryan Khan finally get bail or will he remain in the Arthur Road jail? The Mumbai Sessions Court is likely to pronounce its order today on the bail plea of Shah Rukh Khan's son. The judge may say that the order isn't ready and may give some other date. That's one scenario that could play out. In that case, Aryan remains in the Arthur Road jail under judicial custody till tomorrow. In case the judge grants bail to Aryan, he will be released from the Arthur Road jail. If the court doesn't grant bail, Aryan will stay again in the Arthur Road jail and his lawyers will then move the Bombay High Court. Aryan's bail plea order comes after days of heated argument in the court. The Narcotics Control Bureau argues that it has incriminating evidence against SRK's son through WhatsApp chats in which allegedly drugs were discussed. Aryan defended himself, claiming that no drugs were recovered from him and he was just an invitee on the cruise party which was raided on October 2nd. Now, Aryan Khan would be hoping against hope for some relief as the Mumbai Sessions Court is expected to decide on his bail plea today. Shah Rukh Khan's son has been lodged in the Arthur Road jail since October 7th as Qaidi number 956. During his stay in jail, Aryan was also counselled and he promised reportedly that he will engage in social service after his release. Here's how Aryan is reportedly spending time in jail.
Only 12 kilometers separate Arthur Road jail from Bandstand in Bandra. But it's a world away for Shah Rukh Khan's son, Aryan. The 23-year-old has been in Mumbai's Arthur Road jail since October 7. Devoid of the comforts of his family's palatial house, Mannat. He's Qaidi number 956, lodged in a Spartan barrack in Mumbai's high-security prison. Aryan's life has undergone a sea change in the last 18 days since he was caught during the drug bust on a cruise ship. India Today has learned that when Aryan was in custody of the Narcotics Agency, he was counselled by NCB Zonal Director Sameer Wankhede. Aryan, it is learned, was repentant during the counselling and promised that he would quit his drug habit and turn a new leaf. During counselling, Aryan apparently told Wankhede that he would enter social service to help people from the weaker sections. The Narcotics Bureau, however, has been relentlessly opposing Aryan's bail plea. During the hearing on October 14, the Drug Probe Agency said Aryan's WhatsApp chat showed links to international drug peddlers. In fact, all those arrested were connected to a drug ring. Aryan's defence is that no drugs were found in him, and he was just an invitee to the party on the cruise ship. While the NCB says Aryan is part of a big drug network, many feel that he's paying the price of being a celebrity.
क्या है कि this is the price film industry has to pay for high profile. अब आप जब हाई प्रोफाइल होते हैं तो लोगों को आपको नीचे खींचने में, आप पे पत्थर फेंकने में, आप पे कीचड़ उछालने में एक मजा आता है. अगर आप कुछ भी नहीं है तो किसके पास टाइम है कि आपको पत्थर मारे?
Will Aryan go home to Mannat or will it be Arthur Road jail again? The ball is in the session judge's court. Bureau Report, India Today.
The big political story we're tracking this Wednesday morning. Months to go for the Punjab elections and the battle for the state is clearly on. Amarinder Singh has announced that he's all set to launch a new political party a month after he resigned as the Punjab Chief Minister. Now, Captain Amarinder said he's ready even for a seat-sharing agreement with the BJP, but he's got one condition. If the farmers' issue is resolved.
Finally, the captain fires his political cannon. 19 days after his dramatic exit from the Congress party, Captain Amarinder Singh has declared that he will be floating a new party. And if that isn't a big enough political bombshell in poll-bound Punjab, the captain has also announced that he is open to an alliance and seat-sharing pact with BJP for the upcoming Punjab polls, on the condition that the farmer protests are settled. The issues of farm laws and farmers' protests are tricky for the BJP and Captain Amarinder Singh. The BJP has been firm that the farm laws are much needed agricultural reforms to improve the lot of the farmers. Amarinder Singh has opposed the laws, siding with the farmers in their agitation against the Modi government. It remains to be seen how both sides navigate this tricky stalemate. A theory has been doing the rounds that Captain Amarinder Singh has a proposal for the Modi government to end the farmers' stir, providing an escape route to all three sides: the BJP, Amarinder Singh and the farmers. However, the details of the proposals are not yet revealed. What is clear is that Amarinder Singh's late-night announcement on Tuesday had been rumoured for a few weeks now. The captain's meetings with Home Minister Amit Shah had stirred speculation to a fever pitch. India Today had first broken the news of the captain's plans on October 1. News that now stands confirmed and validated by Amarinder Singh himself. The bombshell has drawn instant anger from his former party.
Whatever step captain is going to take, that will prove only a boat katwa step, and he will be helping the BJP. In fact, we were apprehensive right from the beginning that directly or indirectly, by his action, he is supporting the BJP.
On September 18, Captain Amarinder Singh resigned as the Chief Minister of Punjab following months of infighting between him and Punjab Pradesh Congress Committee Chief Navjot Singh Sidhu, painting his exit as forced by humiliation at the hands of the Gandhis. Sources tell India Today that nearly a dozen Congress leaders are in touch with Captain Amarinder Singh, who is likely to meet farmer leaders in Punjab to give shape to his new political formation. Analysts believe the BJP may benefit from Amarinder Singh's stature in the Punjab Assembly election, especially since the BJP's vote share has been declining in Punjab and their alliance with Akali Dal collapsed last year. The BJP has always had a soft corner for Amarinder Singh because of his military background and staunch nationalist approach in politics. Amarinder Singh was among the few Congress leaders who had supported the Narendra Modi government during the surgical strike in 2016 and the Balakot airstrike in 2019, and took a position similar to the BJP when his arch-rival Navjot Singh Sidhu attended Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan's swearing-in ceremony and hugged Pakistan Army Chief Qamar Javed Bajwa. But could a humiliating exit and a partnership of political exigency translate into election success? Whichever way this plays out, the first shot has just been fired. With Manjeet Sehgal in Chandigarh, Bureau Report, India Today.
Months to go for the crucial assembly elections in Uttar Pradesh, and Prime Minister Modi will be in the state today. He's going to be in Kushinagar to inaugurate the Kushinagar International Airport. The ceremony is expected to start at 10 this morning. Built at a cost of 260 crore rupees, the airport will ease travel of domestic and international pilgrims to Mahaparinirvana site of Lord Buddha. Now, the inauguration ceremony of the airport will be marked by the landing of a flight from Colombo, carrying a delegation of over 100 Buddhist monks and dignitaries. Prime Minister Modi will be paying his respects to the reclining statue of Lord Buddha at Mahaparinirvana temple in Kushinagar. The Prime Minister will also plant a Bodhi tree sampling there. Apart from that, Prime Minister Modi is going to be laying the foundation stone of 12 development projects during his power-packed visit in UP. One of them is the Rajkiya Medical College that will be built at a cost of 280 crore rupees.
स्वाभाविक रूप से ये विकास की एक नई उड़ान है। पर्यटन और रोजगार की संभावनाओं को आगे बढ़ाने और प्रधानमंत्री जी के विजन और उनके संकल्पों को जमीनी स्तर तक पहुंचाने का एक नया अभियान है।
मोदी जी और योगी जी की सरकार विकास के मुद्दे पर जनता से जो वादा किया था, एक एक करके वो सपने पूरे हो रहे हैं। अंतर्राष्ट्रीय एयरपोर्ट की स्थापना, भगवान की इस बुद्ध नगरी कुशीनगर में होने जा रहा है। वहीं पर चिर प्रतीक्षित मेडिकल कॉलेज का भी शुभारंभ माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के कमरों से होगा।
UP government is planning to expand the infrastructure and international tourism in the state, and this airport where we are right now, you are watching exclusively on India Today. This just in front of me here, where you can see the emergency exit, it is actually the arrival, the departure gate, and on the other hand there is the arrival gate. It is also very important that with the fact that how this airport will not only be serving flights domestically but internationally, and for that internationally security check, immigration and custom is something which is of uttermost importance, which is on the right hand side of us, where you can see these counters are there for the immigration and custom. Now this is the lounge area where every details of the flights will be displayed on the LED screens. It is also expected that not only the tourism but also the industrial development will also be possible with the local vendors and the local art getting exposure to export their respective products internationally through this route.
Meanwhile, as far as the Congress is concerned, Priyanka Gandhi is leading from the front, and she made a big women outreach in Polbound, Uttar Pradesh yesterday. The Congress General Secretary, entrusted with the Herculean task of bringing the Grand Old Party to power after 3 decades, has vowed to give 40% tickets to women in this election. So will this be a game changer or just another political dud?
Every political party panders to the woman vote, in SOPs, in incentives, in poll promises, but never in political representation. The woman vote bank in every election, always the kingmaker, never the king. But in the tectonic election of Uttar Pradesh 2022, the Congress party has chosen to ink its revival roadmap through the most unpredictable constituency, women, by making an unprecedented political announcement.
आने वाले विधानसभा चुनाव में उत्तर प्रदेश में कांग्रेस पार्टी 40% टिकट महिलाओं को देगी। हमारी प्रतिज्ञा है कि महिलाएं उत्तर प्रदेश की राजनीति में पूरी तरह से भागीदार होंगी।
Betting big on the woman vote, the Congress hopes to set the poll agenda in a state where elections are fought on the metrics of religion and caste. So is the Congress looking to break the mold, or is a desperate party facing an existential crisis looking to stay relevant?
एक इनकलाब आया है जो कभी नहीं समझता होगा कि मुझे ये मौका मिल सकता है, मुझे भी ये अधिकार मिल सकता है, उसको ये अधिकार मिलेगा। आज ये इनकलाबी कदम लिया गया। अब जब भी इनकलाब आता है तो उथल पुथल होती है और उसमें टूट फूट होती है, उसके बाद नया निर्माण होता है।
एक बात समझना चाहिए कि ये जो परिवार के घोंसले और पप्पू के चोचलों में सिमटी और सिकुड़ी हुई पार्टी है, उसको एक बात समझना चाहिए कि इस तरह की ठिठोलियों से, इस तरह के जो है पॉलिटिकल रंगोलियों से जो है वो उत्तर प्रदेश के लोगों को प्रभावित नहीं कर सकते।
In politics, the inequity of distribution of power is stark. Women comprise 50% of voters, but women are just 10% of the candidates in any state going to polls. Women representation, even in the current 17th Lok Sabha, is just 14.4%. Women representation in political parties is abysmal as well. Look at the Congress itself. In the CWC, the Congress Working Committee, CWC has 20 members, including the President, but just 3 women: Sonia Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi, Ambika Soni. Political parties have realized the power of the woman vote. It's crucial, it's unpredictable, it has been the X factor in most recent elections. 40% tickets reserved for women in UP by Congress is historic. But the question is this a gimmick to push flagging political fortunes, or will this be a game changer? Bureau Report, India Today.
And sticking to news from Uttar Pradesh, today we'll be focusing on what happens in the Supreme Court because the top court is hearing the Lakhimpur Kheri violence case. A three-member bench comprising of Chief Justice N.V. Ramana, Justices Surya Kant and Hima Kohli would hear the matter in which 8 people, including 4 farmers, were killed during a protest on October 3rd. The top court is hearing the matter after 2 lawyers had written to the CJI seeking a high-level judicial inquiry also involving the CBI. 10 people, including the Union Minister of State for Home, Ajay Mishra's son Ashish Mishra, have been arrested so far in connection with this case. The Apex Court earlier, during the previous hearings of this case, had questioned the Uttar Pradesh government over the fact that all of the accused hadn't been arrested. They'd also directed for the preservation of evidence. The state of Uttarakhand has been hit by incessant rains and 47 fatalities have been reported in the last 24 hours. Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami reiterated his appeal to the Char Dham Yatris to stay indoors and not to resume their journeys before the weather improved. The Chief Minister also undertook an aerial survey of the rain-hit areas and later interacted with those who were affected on Ground Zero to make an assessment of the damages caused. Here are all the details of the situation in Uttarakhand.
A devastating deluge. Homes swept away. Roads cut off. Uttarakhand is battling a deadly flood fury. Videos from Nainital show waterlogged streets as people waded their way out after the lake was overflowed. The hill station's bustling mall road was unrecognizable with dozens of vehicles submerged in water. In Champavat, the sheer strength of water currents from an overflowing river dismantled an entire bridge. And a gaping hole on this bridge cut off a key route for aid to the city of Haldwani. The situation in Uttarakhand is grim as people fight the wrath of nature. Forces have swung into action, reaching the remotest areas and hills to evacuate every citizen. From forming a human chain to create a safe passage for those stranded. To carrying children and women out of the danger zone. And inducting 3 Dhruv helicopters to access areas unreachable by road. Efforts for relief and rescue operations are unrelenting. Prime Minister Modi condoled the deaths of people in the floods. Uttarakhand Chief Minister Pushkar Singh Dhami conducted an aerial view of flood-affected areas and announced a compensation.
जिनके घर से कोई भी गए हैं तो उसमें 4 लाख रुपए प्रत्येक मृतक के परिवार को देंगे और साथ में जिनके घर पूरी तरह से टूट गए हैं, खराब हो गए हैं, उनके लिए 1,09,000 रुपए उनको दिया जाएगा.
Rescue operations will continue on Wednesday to ensure that people are shifted from high-risk areas to safety. Bureau Report, India Today.
In Kerala too, the situation has been very worrying for the last 1 week. The death toll due to the devastating floods in the state has reached 27, claiming lives in Kottayam, Idukki, Thiruvananthapuram, Thrissur and in Kozhikode. On the ground, rescue operations continue on a war footing. Ashutosh Mishra gets your ground report.
3 days days of a huge non-stop deluge. Flood fury in Kerala seems to be never-ending. A building collapse, the scary water surge, and dramatic on-camera rescue operations. Stalked by death and destruction. Residents bearing the brunt of these flood woes. In Kottayam, several families marooned in the water were evacuated to safety of 24/7 relief camps. The Sabarimala pilgrimage has been suspended temporarily as floods have wrought havoc in Padanamthitta. Colleges in the flood zone are shut till the 25th of October at least, and the PSC examination has been deferred as well.
This is how the locals with the country-made board are out to help people, those who are in the affected areas, in the low-lying areas. And look at this, how these houses are completely submerged. And if I could say that this is not a drain, neither a river, but a motorable road, which was connecting from the remote areas, the rural, these villages, to the mainland, are now under the water, and that the depth could be more than 4 to 5 feet.
A high alert and vigil is on at several dams across the state as shutters were opened to let out the piling up water levels. Authorities have directed those dwelling on the banks of the swollen Periyar River to stay vigilant at all costs. With Ashutosh Mishra in Padanamthitta, Bureau Report, India Today.
And with that, I'm slipping into a short break here on First Up. Thank you for watching. Have a great day and stay tuned to us here on India Today for the latest news breaks.